In the quiet hills of Himachal there was a small village named Bhavan, where time seemed to stand still. There were no cell towers, no internet, only winding roads, rain-soaked fields, and echoes of silence. And in that silence lived Raghu, the village postman, a man who carried more than just letters. He carried emotions, memories, and the voices of people separated by distance and fate. Every morning he set out on his rusty bicycle, a brown leather bag slung over his shoulder, filled with letters that smelled of hope, pain, and love. But what no one knew was, Raghu hadn't received a letter himself in 25 years. Raghu's life was simple. He delivered wedding invitations, college acceptance letters, and sometimes even final goodbyes written by shaking hands. People waited for him like the rising sun. Old mothers stood by their doors when they saw his red cap, hoping he'd bring a word from their children in the city. He was always smiling, always polite, even when rain poured or snow covered the paths. But behind that smile was a secret, an old, unopened letter in his own bag, yellowed with age, addressed to Raghu Kumar, Bhavan Post Office. He never opened it. He said, greater than, some letters are meant to wait for the right day. One evening, as dark clouds gathered over Bhavan, Raghu received a strange envelope with no name. It was sealed with wax and smelled faintly of sandalwood. Inside was just one line, greater than, the last letter waits where the first one began. Confused but curious, Raghu looked at the signature. There was none. That night, a storm hit the valley. Trees fell, rivers rose, and paths disappeared. But Raghu still left early the next morning, his bicycle squeaking through mud, because he believed that no letter should sleep undelivered. The next address on his route led him to a house that everyone in the village called the silent home. It had been abandoned for years. The door creaked open with the wind. Inside, dust covered the furniture, and cobwebs hung like curtains. But on the table lay a small wooden box with Raghu's name on it. Inside the box were hundreds of letters, all addressed to him. His hands trembled. He opened the first one. It was from Meera, his wife, who had died 25 years ago. Greater than, Raghu, if you're reading this, I know you'll still be delivering letters. I couldn't stop you. It's who you are. But remember, my love, even messengers need messages too. Tears rolled down his face. He sat there for hours, reading each one, every letter a piece of her soul. At the bottom of the box, one last envelope lay, blank, except for his name written in her handwriting. He opened it carefully. Greater than, Raghu, if the world forgets me, keep delivering hope. When you can no longer carry your bag, leave it under the banyan tree where we met. I'll be waiting there, between every word you ever delivered. That night, Raghu didn't return home. The storm had quieted, and the moon shone softly through the clouds. Villagers found his bicycle leaning against the banyan tree the next morning. His bag was placed neatly below it, empty, except for one letter addressed to the people of Bhavan. The headmaster opened that letter in front of everyone. It read, greater than, to everyone who ever waited for a letter. Remember, hope always finds a way to reach you. Even when roads are broken, even when hands grow old, messages of love never stop traveling. I was just the messenger. The real letters were your hearts. And from that day on, the villagers built a small post box beside the banyan tree, a place where people could drop letters to the ones they missed. Every week, a wind would blow through the valley, flipping the letters inside. And some say, if you listened closely, you could still hear Raghu's bicycle bell ringing faintly in the distance. Years later, children in Bhavan still tell the tale of the postman who delivered hope. They say he never died. He just became part of the wind that carries messages across the world. And somewhere beyond the clouds, maybe Meera is still writing him letters. And he's still delivering them, one soul at a time. Greater than, some people deliver parcels, others deliver hope. Raghu did both, and became a letter the world will never forget. Love letter.